Spark of madness,
Spark of madness, spark of madness, spark of madness.
Hey, dudes.
Aww.
I don't sing. I'm sorry.
You've got a great singing voice.
I did yeah, that was cool in the movie though when they actually
That
used
was cool. They did
the opening for Marvel.
Well,
yeah, the orchestral.
Well, you know, when that came up, I thought to myself, are they really doing this? Is this really happening?
Yeah, it's like an epic.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I was just like, really? I was on the nose.
Well, as you can tell, the movie
I loved it.
The movie we were doing today is the Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually did start with the Spider-Man theme.
They did.
Yeah, it was really.
And Morgan Freeman was humming it a little bit at the beginning. It was kind of cool how they started with it like with the opening credit scene, and then it comes to the real world with him humming it in real life. Really good directorial choice there.
It was weird when Dufresne was like crawling on the ceiling of the pipes as he was going out, and then just shit everywhere. But you do what you got to do.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it's either that or be like in the midst of the shit, or be like get your back. Like
how many people do you think we've lost already?
Oh,
all of them. Supposed to go on. I'm not with this one.
No. We've lost one of our cast members to the joke.
I'm out.
And
We're
that's
done.
the way the cookie crumbles.
And scene.
That's a good way to end it. All right. We should probably start over the podcast.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Go. Intro.
No.
Hey, we're done.
No, we're done.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
I think they called it Homecoming because he goes to Homecoming for a few minutes.
Well, it's a double meaning. It's because
Was it?
It is.
I didn't get it.
No, not for the movie, but for the property of Marvel coming back to the cinematic universe as well. It's coming back home to the Marvel cinematic universe. Homecoming.
From what? Where are they coming home from?
Well, because from Sony.
Yeah.
Sony.
Oh, from Spider-Man. Oh,
You
that's
see what I'm saying?
yeah, I get the property. Yeah,
The property.
Because he was.
So that's why I think they called it Homecoming.
Gotcha.
Man,
Okay.
you're so smart.
Sponsored by Coke.
That was Coke even on the label?
There it is.
Oh, okay. I thought you just held up your Regal cup.
Checks in the mail, Ben.
Lawsuits
so-
in the mail.
Let's. I'd like to talk really quickly before we get started about this movie about how, I guess, our familiarity with Spider-Man, because this is the third reboot of Spider-Man. Although I would argue this is a semi-reboot.
A soft reboot.
Yeah, it's not like the whole origin story or anything, and they
left it out.
they
probably like
he was the
did it
best
enough.
character in Civil War, and that was just sort of like, let's kickstart it like right off the bat.
Yeah.
We're not going to go through everything again. But so the first two Spider-Man movies are like regarded as some of the best superhero movies there are.
Me too.
They're amazing. I remember. I think I saw the first one in theaters.
I
like
love the
5
first
times
one.
growing
Me
up.
too.
I love the first one. I love the feel that they had for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We'll go into that.
They hit all the right
Where
beat.
they divulge.
And then they had the second movie is like
great.
considered one of the best ever superhero movies.
Well, I think the first one's better.
I agree, but like
I think the
if
second
you're
one has
thinking
the
about
best
it,
action sequence.
people would say like you're going up or at least sustaining a high bar, and then it's like, all right, let's wrap up the trilogy, and they just like had a splattery diarrhea emo shit on the floor.
Well, it's because
Spider-Man 3.
It's because Sam Raimi wanted the Sandman and the studio wanted Venom.
Yeah, and that
And they
was
put, like,
the
every
start
character-
of these movies having.
I think
way
Sam
too
Raimi
many
wanted
villains.
to wrap it up into he wanted to wrap it up as a trilogy.
Yeah,
They were going to do
They
a
had
fourth
three
one. With
three villains in that.
Yeah, that's what happens.
But Aaron has a soft spot for that movie, right?
Yeah.
You were awfully
I have
quiet.
a soft spot for Batman and Robin too.
Yeah.
Look, it's.
We should.
I have every reason to think that movie was torched on purpose by Sam Raimi just to piss off the studio. Come on, Sam Raimi's a
It's
better
true.
filmmaker than that.
It's true.
It
I
is,
mean,
but-
especially after the first two.
But it's not that
That's
bad.
The thing. It's not that bad.
What?
It's got problems.
It's got a lot of
All
problems.
right, we're gonna need to do like a double feature of Batman, and then that movie.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and defend Spider-Man 3 as some great piece of cinema. It's not terrible, and you know why it's terrible. Not because of Sam Raimi.
They killed Spider-Man.
Emo
in that
Spider-Man.
movie. Yeah, okay. Well, and then they rebooted it again because that was so bad. and the Andrew Garfield version with Emma Stone, Oscar winner Emma Stone,
the first one,
an Oscar nominee Andrew Garfield.
The first one, The Amazing Spider-Man, is that series. It's okay.
I didn't think it was very good at all.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It's not
Skipped it
rewatchable. It's just okay.
Yeah, just fine.
It's not as bad as Spider-Man 3, but it was okay.
Yeah, and then it wasn't good enough. I didn't like it, and then I was not on board with 2. I never saw the second one.
I did, and it was just too much. They suffered from Spider-Man 3 syndrome.
There's like 5 villains, right?
Yeah.
5?
Yeah. They even had
5?
They even had Paul Giamatti in like a real short little bit, and like
Okay.
Blue Rhino. It was a really cool thing, but it's like throwaway.
Yeah.
see.
It's like Bane and Batman and Robin.
Yeah, exactly.
With I tell you, Mr. Bane, whoever has the biggest gun wins. That's an actual line from the movie. like that's what we're talking about, kids. Freeze. It's nice to meet you.
That's another real actual
That's
line.
an actual. Oh yeah.
It is.
The cold puns. So anyway, they obviously pull the plug really quickly on Spider-Man and that iteration with Andrew Garfield, only to reboot him again into the Marvel
Cinematic
Universe.
Yep. The
And
universe.
He's been absorbed by the Borg.
They kicked him off in Civil War in like a really quick cameo, but I
Effective cameo.
from my point of view, he was the best part of that movie.
He was, and no, him and Ant-Man turned big.
That's true.
Those are my two favorite.
Yeah, but that scene in general was like,
was
that's
cool.
a whole other thing. Yeah, it was just kind of like a whatever.
1,000
Anyway,
voices cried out in orgasms that night.
What?
I'm talking about all the nerds who had the nerdgasm.
The nerdgasm
Yeah.
at the airport.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
When you're improvising and you forget some lines, orgasm. I mean, nerdgasm. My brother was a piano mover.
I'm not as quick on the draw as I used to be with
the
that.
boing.
Well, you'll get used to it, boy. There's going to be a lot of bad puns.
So before we get to the good, bad, and ugly of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yes.
So this is your spoiler alert.
Let's unpack this.
We're going to go through everything. Like we just came from the theater. We're going to talk about everything that happened in the movie. So, but to recap, what happens? It's basically the plot is Spider-Man wants to be an Avenger, and then he doesn't.
Exactly. He was like
anything
really
else?
Summed it up.
It was. He had a Little Mermaid moment. I want to be an Avenger now. I want to fight all the bad guys from space. Walking around on the, what do you call it? Streets. Up in their tower where they all fight. I want to be with them just tonight.
Hey, Ben?
Why can't I be like Iron Man 3? Fighting for the world. There's a second.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good.
That
was an impressive improv.
I was pulling out of my ass, boys and girls.
Good. It's a good comparison, though, too.
Yeah. Ass.
The whole. Your song was ass. You're right.
It was ass.
Ass.
I mean, there was only one villain, which was good.
Brilliant move. On
Yeah.
Marvel's
Actually, there
part.
was actually 3. But there were
not really.
Shocker.
We
got Shocker.
We'll talk about Shocker.
We
got the Shocker.
We got Shockers. 2 Shockers. They even had the Shocker costume, kind of. Like, it was kind of cool.
But Michael Keaton was the Vulture.
And he was literally a vulture. Everybody, he was literally a vulture. He was a scavenger who scavenged. Scavengers, they live in humans. He was, but
Disney improv.
yeah, it was.
So we're just going to go through the whole
Lawsuit.
catalog.
Anyway.
It is it's Disney and Sony.
Okay. What were you going to say?
Well, you wouldn't make it on the radio with that dead air. You might if you're certain sportcasters locally here. There's a ton of dead air. But anyways.
Let's
I've had a lot of caffeine.
anything
Coke
else
Zeros.
to add overall about sort of the
The story?
Yeah. Just fill in the pieces before you get into the specific.
Well, I mean, it was.
It was kind of Tony Stark was the other main catalyst.
He was, but he wasn't. He didn't overtake it, which is nice. He didn't overtake the movie. It's more. It's a completely different take on the Spider-Man mythos.
Yeah.
In terms of setup, but I feel that it's more Spider-Man in terms of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, the goofiness of Spider-Man, which they captured great, better than any other Spider-Man movie.
They tried in the others, but it just wasn't.
No, there was something really funny about it, and that's what Spider-Man is. But it was missing the serious tones of the mythos of Spider-Man's dilemma. But we'll talk about that.
So that's a good segue. Let's do the good, bad, and ugly.
I'm doing it. That's the music right there. We don't have any slides for it this time.
No.
Oh, we don't.
Just have to look at us.
I wish I could do like a zoom.
And slowly segueing
Cutting away from you
and then
guys.
it's yeah.
Look at this guy.
All right, let's do the good, bad, and ugly. So, starting with the good, I think that's the best place to start, actually, with sort of the tone, because that would probably be my favorite part of this was how, because watching the trailer, it kind of came off like they might be doing this like. Sort of like a Michael Cera movie almost, and like dun, 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 indie movie like will start and like.
Hold on.
Wait, go ahead.
After the movie was over, Aaron poked at me. He goes, "Michael Cera would be a great Spider-Man."
No.
He goes, it's like the end with the credit.
When it was doing the credits thing with the playmates and the markers and stuff, I was like, I feel like I'm watching a Michael Cera movie.
That's right.
I go, he'd be a great Spider-Man.
Oh, I don't think so.
But like if it was a spoof,
I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can shoot you with the webs. I don't.
Life is hard, guys.
It's all sticky.
I don't have the courage to talk to her. I have to make this web shooter thing.
Tony, can you just do it for me?
Are they the Marvelous? Yeah.
Playing the guitar for no reason.
Spider-Man. Da, 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 da. Look out.
I think Tom Holland was he both was perfectly cast
he was
in
great.
how he acted, and they wrote the character of Spider-Man. Both
his voice is funny.
The goofiness, the charm, the childlike enthusiasm,
and he's British.
Everything was
he's
there.
British, Aaron. Did you know that he's British?
He's a British.
He is. They're taking our jobs. They took our jobs.
But like the scene where he's texting Happy and like it's just like he's just so excited and there's like 100 texts and he's just
but it's very they captured that really well.
15, yeah.
Yep.
I have to say the pacing of this movie was really, really good. The pacing was really good, really good.
It felt like sorry,
they sprinkled a lot.
Well, it was about the pacing. I found that usually when something's really well paced, something that I expect to happen will happen the moment after I think about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's been a while since we heard from so and so, and then it'll cut right to them. And you're like, oh, there he is.
You know what? I thought about that about another movie that I'll go off on the rails, so we won't we won't talk about that in the movies.
Movie.
A lot of people didn't like it, but Cloud Atlas was like that for me.
It was fun.
Cloud Atlas was like a ton of different stories at once, and like every time I got like, okay, I'm ready for the next story. Oh, the next story. Okay, good. They didn't linger too long.
Again.
Yeah, I liked it. We should review that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Are we going off the rails there?
This movie was the opposite of that in that it didn't have a million plots necessarily.
Yeah, that was good.
No, it didn't.
But
in terms of pacing,
it kept.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought
that feeling Aaron
got the charm of the first person video at the start.
That was hilarious.
And he's like, "This is amazing."
That was so well done.
And the comedy of that with Happy that he's playing on, like. You really got the sense that, and it also put you in his shoes during his Civil War moment, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
I also liked how
it's like Cloverfield a little bit.
That kind of gets to like I loved how they juxtaposed, which we'll get to a little bit later, all the like normal Avengers big budget movie, high tech, all this crazy action and production value and music and stuff versus in this case, it's like very high school, low budget, low tech, a lot of homemade stuff, like his costume. At the gym, you see they roll out this little TV and you get it, and it's not high production value. Like, and they contrasted, like, it kind of showed how it reflected how he is sort of out of his league
was
at
more
this
grounded.
point. Yeah, and like he's still just a kid, and like all this other low
But I like
budgety
that, though.
kind of stuff.
I think one thing that's relatable about Spider-Man is the character compared to a lot of different characters, even in the Marvel universe, is the relatability to the common man. You know what I mean? The common person.
That's what Stan Lee would say.
Well, yeah, because he's got real world problems. You know what I mean? Plus, he's a superhero.
And that's
and doesn't have a lot of money to throw at things.
That's what's good about this movie in particular is because there's a lot more time spent on him not being good at things.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
clumsiness
All the
and
other
stuff.
movies,
Figuring
he's
out-
instantly good at everything.
Yeah. They captured the awkward nature of him trying to figure out his powers and stuff at the same time.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Well, it's like they're capturing adolescence, a little bit too. The one thing I gotta say, what I really liked, because it grounded it even more in reality too, of his point of view, is when he's climbing up the Washington Monument.
Yeah, and he's freaking out.
And it's like, yeah, you would freak out even if you have superpowers.
Yeah, that was a thought. That was a thought. Like, is he really freaking out about this? I guess he should.
Yeah, he is.
And it also
like
captured how he's running into danger and brave and wants to be a hero, but he's still sort of like that, like nervousness is still there.
It
like
is.
and it shows like a good, not just a starting point, but like it shows us where he will get to when we see Tony Stark and other heroes, and like where he's at right now. It's like he's still nervous. And
well, it shows you the gravity of things. The opposite, I think, of a J.J. Abrams movie. The weight of the danger, the weight of something like it's like my problem with the Force Awakens was the big Death Star, whatever it's called.
It never felt very dangerous.
It wasn't that heavy. Wasn't that gravity? You know what I mean? Oh, they're gonna wrap it up with the bow and take it with it. There's points where you think this guy, he's in danger.
Yeah, well, and
You felt
it's
he's
like
in danger.
genuine It's not like he's a robot superhero.
No.
That's like, I am brave in every situation.
Yeah.
And like I'm like perfect, and I'm not gonna have like it's more interesting to have a hero run into danger when
that's
you know
Spider-Man.
they're nervous
Yeah.
and like conflicted than like they just would do it no matter what.
And that's Spider-Man. Like
yeah.
like all the Spider-Mans have actually been that way.
Yeah.
Even in the comics, I think that's what's appealing about him. Like even though he has super strength, it's not Superman super strength. There's still some limits to it, and also like he can get shot. He can get shot. He can get killed.
I want to get back to something Aaron said about him failing too, because I think it's not necessarily just him failing, but like just the slow stuff of him like slowly putting on his suit and like they really thought through like, oh yeah, he goes home from school, he runs into an alley, he throws his stuff down, and he like has to like awkwardly
That's
put
funny.
his
That was
suit on.
something I always thought about. I saw Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire in theaters on opening day, and every time he got into his suit, I was like, how did he get into that suit so fast?
And how do you make that suit?
And how did he make it?
Yeah.
And that was what was so great about this was like his little low tech suit was low tech, like really.
Well, I mean, the goggles he
Believable.
had were pretty impressive.
That's
Yeah.
true. The goggles were good, but it's not like he was sitting in his room like Tobey Maguire, like stitching and sewing. And
All I had to do was draw
fashion
with markers,
designer.
and then all of a sudden, the
Yeah,
suit
it's
was done.
just like here is my suit that is perfectly tailored.
This is not necessarily a bad or an ugly, but in comments to the suit, I think it's cool that even like the other suit, that it's cool that it has like it's got animated opened up and down,
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the point?
It was zooming in on stuff.
It zoom ins on stuff.
Zooming in.
It's
But
there
it,
for I'd say
So
it's there to explain that sort of thing, but it's also there for possibly even using emotion.
yeah, it's like
No,
it's-
I know that,
They
but like, what's the rational?
they rationalized him being able to have expressions with his eyes
because they
as
saw how
they're
Deadpool
zooming
did
in
it.
on stuff.
They said Deadpool, like his eyes. made it-
Deadpool's is just
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, I forgot it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's,
So it goes. So it probably counteracts when he squints and
well,
stuff.
think of it like a
Because when you
camera-
squint, you focus.
think of it like a camera iris. It expands and contracts. Just
Yeah.
look at it like that.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
I just didn't understand. Like, why does it do that?
because it's cool, dude. Dead air.
So I kind of want to talk about
Cut that in post.
the basically all of the side characters, because I
Okay.
thought those were basically every other side character other than one, which we'll get to, but like the rest of the pieces they filled in around, and even the character actors that, like the guy from Silicon Valley that was their teacher for the academic decathlon.
Oh,
And like I thought he was great in the role, and
He's
he had
funny.
my favorite
Dry,
line,
dry.
which was like,
he's your type of humor.
"I can't lose another student
Yeah.
on a field trip."
Yeah, he's like, it's like,
Not again.
it's like, yeah, it's like, not like, he says, nothing's more important in these student lives that can't afford, risking their, like, losing them.
Yep.
Not again. Like, it's like, what? That was funny. There was a good dry moment.
I thought he was good. The actress from Baskets was in it. She was the one in the elevator in Washington, D.C., and they kept flipping back between her being like, "Everything's fine,"
Oh.
to the...
What's Basket?
It's the show on FX.
That
with
was
Zach
funny.
Efron.
That was everything's
she's
fine.
Funny.
Everything's not fine.
She played her role basically the same. but-
Yeah, so it cut back to that was a funny scene. It cut back between her saying everything's fine, and then it cuts
Yeah.
back to Spider-Man's suit, who has a voice, which we'll talk
No,
about
go for
later.
it. No, reveal it.
Well, saying like everything's like in danger, like saying the opposite of what the things. So I just found it sound like so. I'm listening to his voice, and
So-
it's a sultry, beautiful
But
voice.
let's contextualize. The voice is not his low-tech suit. Tony Stark gives Spider-Man like eventually like a training wheels version of a suit that he then hacks to make it awesome.
Yeah, there's
like
a
the
lot
full
of
version.
the full version.
full
which
danger
halfway in the
version.
movie, he
Which
hacked
was
it.
also cool that you see like, I'm
This suit can do so
I'm
many
in like the
things.
little kid version and I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
But the suit has a voice, an AI voice to it, like Tony Stark's.
but
Yeah.
it's a female voice,
Oh, who is it?
and it's a very sultry voice.
Tell
And
me.
we reviewed a movie earlier,
did.
Rocketeer podcast. Go check it out.
It's Jennifer Connelly.
Yes. Yes.
You want me?
That's good.
Do you want me to blow your mind one more time?
Yeah, do it again.
Guess who she's married to? Paul Bettany, who plays the Vision, who was the AI voice in Tony Stark's suit.
That
They
is
are the
mind-
actors
that's-
are married in real
That's
life.
really cute.
They
really
did that on
cute.
purpose.
That's really cute. That's really cute.
yeah. So
Interesting.
And
she was funny.
she's married to
She
him?
was good. Yeah.
Huh. He's in he's in
Knight's
that Master and Commander, right?
Yeah, he is.
Knight's Tale. That's a good one. We should do that.
He is. He's him and Jude Law sound a lot alike.
Yes, they do.
They are both British.
What? So I also liked the Ned, his best friend. Thought he was amazing.
Needle nose Ned.
Perfect.
Ned the head.
Ned. He got
Bing again!
and he like his sort of best friend, like he knows the secret
guy
the
in
whole
the chair,
time, and
the
he's
guy- yeah.
he wears his hat for confidence, and then he gets to be the guy in the chair.
I laughed.
and
I laughed
that
so
was
hard. I laughed so
great.
hard because I want to be the guy in the chair. Like every superhero movie, like even the
Yeah.
Flash series that they have.
It's amazing.
There's a guy, the team in the chair. I want to be the guy in the chair.
And what was so great about that scene, in addition to him being a
so does the Punisher. He has a guy in a chair too.
That's true.
in addition to him getting to be like fulfill his dream of being the guy in the chair, like he's going back and forth between like communicating with Happy and like tracking down this supervillain and finding his secret hideout and where he's located and looking up where the the lights are on a car because he doesn't know how to drive and hasn't been in, like they showed him like
It's hilarious.
flipping between like a real serious problem and then like a little kid high school problem where he can't figure out the buttons on a car. Like,
yeah,
that was
it's
cool.
funny. It's funny. This guy's fighting Avengers and flying vultures
Yeah.
and
He doesn't
things
know how
like
to
that, and
drive.
like he doesn't know how to operate a car. Like
Yeah.
that's what's
It's so
hilarious.
good.
He's still like he's so advanced, but he can't like he's still a kid. He's literally a kid, and I don't know how old
What-
he is in real life, but he plays 16 pretty well.
Yeah. What did you guys think of what was her name? I think it was Michelle, the like dry
Yeah,
Michelle.
I thought she was funny, and I
I
thought there's
liked her a lot.
Okay, so at the end, I did too. I thought she was funny, but at the end, it's like, oh, they call me MJ, and it's like, wait a
That's a
minute.
reference. But
Mary
she
Jane.
went by Michelle though.
But Mary Jane.
So are they like
Are they redoing it? That's what I was wondering. That was really weird.
they must
Couldn't
be.
tell.
They must
Yeah,
be.
because you showed her. He was interested in it. As soon as he walked away, he's like, I don't care. And he walked away, and she's like,
Yeah. And she specifically said MJ. So
Yeah,
they must be
MJ.
changing it. Yeah. But I thought she was great. She was a fun like
why does it say
side
Mary?
character.
Why not make Mary Jane? I'm Mary Jane.
Sounds like weed.
Maybe it'll be like, oh, it's Mary, but I'd like to go by Michelle or something. I don't know.
Okay, go on.
Whatever. But I thought she was great, and I thought and especially if she is going to be MJ, it's a great twist on her character.
But she's a redhead.
Shit.
She can't be a redhead.
Aaron, what did you think of Aunt May?
No,
There's a Seinfeld episode about Aunt May.
there's a reason I keep watching The Wrestler.
Yeah. Have you seen The Wrestler?
No, but
Okay.
you should watch
The
is she all full Marissa Tomei?
She's full Marissa Tomei. Yeah.
She
She goes full Marissa Tomei in this movie. There's a sex scene with
Tony Stark.
Tony.
That's what they call him, Iron
Michael
Man.
Keaton walks in, and then it gets
Yeah,
kinda
and then
weird.
it gets real weird.
The Vulture.
The Vulture. Yeah.
Do what you want with
so
me.
I like Marissa Tomei. in
I
this,
did too.
though.
It's a different take.
She plays like everybody knows she's the hot
Attractive.
aunt or whatever.
Yeah.
But she plays it kind of.
Straight.
She plays it like, oh, I don't know, and I'm gonna be like a good.
Have you
parent.
seen My Cousin Vinny? Have you seen My Cousin
No.
Vinny?
Yes, I've
Have you seen My Cousin Vinny?
I have it on the shelf.
It's so great. We got to watch My Cousin Vinny.
really good.
Yeah.
That's like young Marissa Tomei in her prime.
Yeah.
So you
But
mean to tell me an entire grit-eating world? Anyways, go on.
I like the part where
I like the two.
she had a
youths.
lot of kind of not forced scenes, but when she got the chance to actually have a real scene where she's like helping him get ready for the dance.
Oh, yeah, that's
like
cute.
that was real. That was really
was
good.
cute.
And then she had the best line in the movie, other than the guys saying.
So
"You
who's
lost
the be-
kids."
who's the
But, like
best-
the very end? What the
fuck?
Yeah,
that's different. That's different in the comics.
Yeah,
Like Aunt May didn't know he's Spider-Man, so they leave a cliffhanger.
I like that they are selectively choosing people that know his identity.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense because like.
but I hate
the
that. And I like it at
Avengers-
the same time.
The Avengers isn't really like none of their identities are really secret.
No.
So it makes sense that they would kind of start.
but
to
it
parcel
goes
out.
against the norm of like the first Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
You mean
I
it's
like that though.
I do, and I don't. At first, I didn't, and then I'm like, I like this.
There's a lot
I
of
like this.
opportunity for like who knows who doesn't kind of.
Yeah, and it's interesting how the Vulture knew,
Yeah.
but I think
he
he did.
picked up on it in a good. Well,
I think he.
I don't know.
I think the Vulture did not want was because they show signs of goodness in the Vulture. Like you don't. He's kind of like Doc Ock,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
a little more interesting to me. But there's a sign like so he picked up. He didn't because I think he still is protective. You know, he was doing the right thing at that that moment
That one pivotal moment.
That one
when Nacho asked
moment.
him.
Any other?
Can I tell you my good?
Yeah, go
I have
for
a
it.
big one.
Yes.
For once, the world wasn't in peril.
Yeah.
Dear God,
There
I'm
wasn't
sick of
an
that.
apocalypse coming.
I'm so sick of everybody being about to die all over the globe.
Yeah.
Uh,
It did feel like when you talk about him, and they conveyed it very well that he was a friendly neighborhood spy. Like he was very concerned about his neighborhood.
That was funny.
It was a realistic threat that was just to his. Well, maybe not realistic, but it was a threat just to his neighborhood that wasn't going to blow up the city.
and that's
or
what he wanted to
something.
do. He wanted to go back to that.
Yeah.
You know, I thought the good was the tone, even though, like, the overall tone. There's some things I loved about the other Spider-Man. You know, about the hardship that he has to face of overcoming more. But I like the humorous nature of it, the lightheartedness of it.
There's
You
good
know,
humor. There was really,
really
good,
good
especially
humor.
with Happy.
It was-
Happy character was really good.
Yeah.
But everybody had
Happy's
a.
been good since the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah,
He's been good
Jon
since Rudy.
Favreau's amazing. he knows his spot in these.
Do you know he directed the first Iron Man movie?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
You know? He also directed Jungle Book
Directed Jungle Book?
and Zathura,
Zathura.
which is like
That movie I never wanted to see?
it's like a Jumanji.
I know what it is.
The
Sorry.
Spongy
the
Michael.
last thing I can and if you guys have others too, once I bring it up, but
Sure.
because
Dude,
we've
this
been
is-
talking for 30
Yeah,
almost
I
30
was
minutes
about to
about
make
the
the same
good.
observation.
Yeah.
The
Which-
good section was really long.
It was-
It
was
reflective
sprinkled.
of the movie though.
Yeah, it was sprinkled. It was really well sprinkled. In Yeah, it didn't seem like a Marvel movie to me.
Speaking of sprinklers,
Which is good,
How
too.
about that scene where he ran through the sprinklers because his web couldn't
Oh,
reach it?
yeah,
And he had
that-
to like run through, and then he was
Yeah.
catching up, and like
And then they're doing like almost a direct shot of Ferris
Dun, dun,
Bueller,
dun, dun.
and then they cut to a guy watching Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, I think
That was
all three
hilarious.
of us were thinking of that scene from Ferris Bueller when
And then, and
and
then
they knew exactly
they
what
break
they were doing.
the fourth wall in a very good way in this movie. That's really like not like a direct.
not over the top.
No, it's just like they make fun of themselves really well, and I love that. I love that about movies.
I also loved that he chose not to go and be an Avenger.
Yes,
I love that
that
decision.
costume looked cool.
I also loved that it wasn't over. I was going to save that for bad. I didn't like the new costume.
Oh.
But I also didn't. I also like that it wasn't so overly
Wait. The last
the
costume.
black. The over. Yeah.
Okay,
they're
so
showing him.
to for the listeners and the viewers, at the end, like we liked the costume he had,
the normal one.
normal
that
one.
he had throughout the whole movie.
but at the end he gets a chance to be an Avenger and he denies it. But
Yeah.
Tony Stark shows him this like Iron Man looking costume. It was like I don't know if it was
It was
metallic.
just like black and like more
yeah, it was a little more
gaudy.
advanced.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
But he goes nah, and he walks away.
But I did like that. And I also like that they were surprised that he turned it down. But
That
I
was
like
funny.
that the Avengers and like because it started with the world's never going to be the same, and like literally Vulture is part of a cleanup crew from like, when the city was
A
destroyed.
good guy.
And like, and I was like, "Oh, we're doing this again. Like, we get it. We've seen the movies. Even like Agents of Shield addresses. It's like
Yeah.
the world's
Cinematic universe.
the
man.
world's never going to be the same again. Like,
and
we
you
get
took
it.
your notes real fast at that point.
Yeah, I was like,
and
this is bullshit. Like,
you're like, could you stop with the lead?
so that like
You're
they-
bothering the movie.
yeah, my scribbling was
Sorry,
too loud.
it wasn't that bad. I'm just being.
But
an
like I
asshole.
thought they were gonna be like, oh, we're
A
doing this
monkey's
again,
asshole.
Civil War stuff, or Avengers from like 3 movies ago, and they reference the other movies, but it doesn't overtake it, and like,
No.
and
but
even Tony Stark is sort of actively like,
But they
you're
have this-
not ready for this, and maybe we'll
the
reference.
reason
stuff,
they
but it's-
referenced the other one at the beginning because it's important to Vulture's character. Like it was the whole storyline of him.
yeah,
You didn't like that?
I didn't like. Well, yeah,
Let's
we'll
go to
talk
bad.
about it.
Let's go to
Let's
bad.
just go to
Let's go to
bad.
bad.
Let's
If more,
go to
if more
bad.
good comes
There's
up.
a lot more good.
All
But
right. Well, we'll start there because that's
Wah,
literally the
wah,
first thing.
wah.
Well, Vulture's backstory is kind of weird to me.
You think so?
Like
I thought his motivation was weird.
his motivation and like he gets so
It's
like,
kind of forced, wasn't it?
I guess
Yeah.
I get why he'd be so mad that like he's making this cleanup crew to pick up stuff, and then the assholes who made this mess now get paid to clean it up, like, and they're paying another facility to go and pick up all the stuff, supposedly because it's alien material and you can use it's resources, which then
Yeah.
Vulture realizes,
Which is Vulture,
And-
who's also, which I liked about it because he was a scavenger. Vultures are scavengers. They
Yeah. I
go.
didn't think about that.
So he was literally a scavenger.
but he uses it and like creates weapons, and it's
Do you know?
it's a
Do you know
rogue
the guy who's
story of-
creating? There's a character
selling
called the
weapons again.
Tinkerer in the Marvel universe. I don't know if he's in Spider-Man, but he's the guy who's making all the tech for the Vulture.
Oh,
So he's supposed to be a villain
okay.
too.
Well, maybe that was the Tinkerer. There also
Shut up, you.
was the Shocker,
The
which
Shocker.
is a
I like-
very inappropriate name for.
I like. Well,
I
he's-
would not have called him the Shocker.
no,
Maybe
but
that's what he's named.
He's in the
book.
comic book.
Okay.
They actually make his outfit kind of similar to it with the
Ugh.
mesh on his sleeves.
Huh.
You remember the Shocker in the comic
No.
books?
I only
gonna-
have like 10 Spider-Man comic
All
books.
All
right,
the
all
college bros are like, Shocker.
2 in the pink and 1 in the stink.
Yeah.
All right, let me
Vulture.
let me show you this, Matt. I'm gonna,
You don't need to show it. I mean, Aaron could pull it up.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't really care to see that
that's
it's
what he looks like in the comic books. Yeah, I was like similar.
like, and literally as part of that foursome is like
Mm-hmm.
a Shocker. Anyway. I would say there's other, like, it can get uglier, but I would say a lot of the
Here-
Vulture's motivations and like how he became a villain was bad.
It's forced.
Yeah.
it was
Very
forced.
Like,
I
he
mean, we
spot-
needed to see him be poor first before that would make any sense.
Yeah, it
He
was
had
like
a big fucking house.
Yeah, it was like a big classist message, like to like to why he was doing what
I
he was
think
doing. Like, oh, there are people who making money and we're just scraps. We got to take it from
You know
them.
what? Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but they rushed it and forced
Yeah,
it.
and
They
you're
had to
right.
think
He
of-
was in a mansion. He lived in a fucking mansion.
You know what's interesting? Here's an interesting that I always wondered about this is how come, especially it seems like a lot of Spider-Man villains have green costumes.
Yeah,
The
Green
Green
versus
Goblin,
Red,
Mysterio, the Vulture,
yeah. Reptile.
the Lizard,
Yeah, whatever.
Liverweist. Sorry.
Shrimp stew.
The
Shrimp
leprechaun.
gumbo.
The green bean man.
The Riddler,
Jolly Green Giant.
Dr. Doom. I don't know.
It's like a rundown.
Hey,
of-
Doc Ock
Red
is
5.
Doc Ock is green too.
Yeah,
He's
he
got
is.
green.
Somewhat green.
Yeah. And some orange.
Yeah, I just didn't really like. And even when he like got the taste for blood or became a murderer, like it was even accidental. Like
Yeah.
when his first kill was like, oh, I thought this was the anti-gravity gun. Nope, I just murdered somebody in my crew. That was
Could you
gonna
get the dustpan
rip
on
up-
that, please?
Yeah, it's like, jeez. And then he's just like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm a murderer now.
No, it wasn't. You know, have you ever seen
That is what he did.
You know,
that
he,
was what
he did. No. This is what I thought. You ever seen the 1960s Batman movie? You ever seen that? The old.
When they dehydrate.
They dehydrate him. They're gonna put water on him. He's gonna go back to being
He's gonna
man
come
again.
back,
Yeah,
he's
that's
gonna be the villain
yeah,
in the next
yeah.
one.
He's gonna be
He's-
Shocker.
Shocker 1, original Shocker.
Yeah.
And then they
Shocker
unite.
2, the shocking.
The shocking.
And like,
But
double
I
Shocker.
did like that scene of of him like what do you call it? Shocker. The Shocker. Like Michael Keaton's a great actor.
Yeah,
That's all. I
he
mean, like
did a good job
even
with
like,
what he had.
even though the character is forced, he's great.
You know, it's funny that you say he's forced. The way the character turns out in the end, it almost makes how he's forced feel better to me.
Yeah, because you wanted me a little bit
when
good.
they humanized him, you mean, and
Yeah.
like had a family, and
Yeah, well,
and
no,
then he,
when-
and then
Well-
in
when
jail, and
well,
So okay,
We gave our
Let-
spoiler
let
warning,
Aaron
right?
go.
When-
Yeah,
when-
yeah,
When he
spoilers.
when he kind of helps Peter Parker out at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and basically when he says he won't give him away, won't give
Yeah.
up his identity.
and there's a reason for that. And do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's what the podcast is.
okay, so there's a part, and it kind of reminds me of a little bit of the first Spider-Man with
Don't tell Harry.
Don't Tell Harry, where he shows up to the girl that he likes' house, and guess who opens the door? It's the Vulture. It's Toombs,
Yeah.
and you realize that's her dad, and he does.
that
And
was-
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like when you first watch, it, you're like, wait a minute, did he figure out his identity and kidnap this person's family? You know,
It made the viewer think.
It was a little twist.
it was good, but it was really good because he knew, like, he figured out as they're driving that this is probably
It
Spider-Man,
was good deductive reasoning.
but
on his
also
part.
he knew that he saved his family, his daughter's
Yeah,
life.
he
So
wasn't
he's
stupid.
he wasn't going to kill
Yeah.
Peter,
that was good.
but also at
He
the
gave
end
him
he
a-
saves the Vulture
Mhm.
life, and I think that's why he didn't tell.
Yeah,
You know,
he has like
because
some sense of
He has some more moral code.
yeah. But then it's like I don't know. So we have like this quick descent into like crazy villainy, but why does he?
His costume was cool.
Why
Yeah.
does he keep going? Like when they're
Because
Oh.
he has to pay for his millionaire mansion.
yeah, it's like just
could've
give
been
it up,
more-
dude. Like, what's the point? Like, why do you have to keep going?
He could have been frugal.
Right. Well, like,
He could have sold that $1 million mansion and like lived in a nice little place. You know.
Yeah.
it's just like they had that scene where the Shocker 2 was like, why
the
we gotta
Shocker.
stop? The feds were there waiting for us, and now we got Iron Man in here. We should just run. We should just be done. He's like, I can't run. It's like, why?
the Vulture.
Just stop.
Just tell us
You're done.
why. I mean, if you're gonna keep going, tell us why.
Yeah, give us a reason.
Maybe he loves that suit and wants to fly around in it.
but
you know?
like,
How much that suit cost?
They never gave us that information of like
We
he's
didn't
getting
have his motivation.
he's getting like corrupted. Like he never felt like he was
And
too far gone.
I have to say this, and I'm with you. 100%. I got to say this. I think there's a problem. This is one of the biggest flaws to me in all the Marvel verse about villains. I don't think any Marvel movie, in my personal opinion, really knows and understands the importance of a villain.
Yeah.
And the villain is never on the same footing as the hero. You have to have the duality. You have to have that's one of the reasons why I love the first Spider-Man, because Willem Dafoe's villain,
He knocked it out.
oh, he was like, and that's why Dark Knight's really good.
Back to formula.
Yeah, that's why the first Batman's really good, because you had, sometimes in a movie the hero's boring, but the villain saves the movie, like the first Superman movie.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman. I mean, so I think they don't. And having saying this, they never make a good villain. Having saying this is, I think, the best villain they've ever made in the Marvel verse, even though it's not where it should be.
I mean, they did a great job of giving him.
He's got a character. He's interesting.
He's got a fleshed out character. It's just the reasons and motivations for why he was doing something weren't totally clear.
You're right.
And what was, I also felt like what was so good about this too was that a big problem with a lot of the Marvel movies is that it's like you got the one big villain and then like a bunch of like totally disposable minions
Henchmen
that are also like killable almost. Like you don't feel bad that they're
Not
there's
in the
aliens
slightest.
that are
it's like a bad
killing
horror.
people or-
It's like a
or
bad horror movie. You
robots
don't
or
really
something.
flesh
It's
out the
it
characters
doesn't matter.
too much.
Like in this, there weren't a lot of minions. There was just sort of a
There was Vulture, Shocker, and Shocker 2.
a crime gang basically.
Tinkerer.
Yeah, that had
Don't forget the
weapons.
Tinkerer.
Yeah.
And the liver waste.
I just wish that I guess they gave us more, or like why he kept going, like, or
That
like
was all
he
I
had
needed
like
to
a
know.
debt or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
or I don't know.
Man,
just a
I
little
agree
bit
with you
more.
there. I agree 100%. Actually, 100.1%.
That means he agrees more than is possible.
More. Oh.
At a 500 scale.
Wow.
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 Are those murderers? Is that the Shocker?
Another. Oh, the Shocker. Oh.
Two in the pink and one in the
That feels great.
Wow, that feels good.
Wow. That's our Owen Wilson.
Everybody has no idea why we're doing Owen Wilson.
There's an Owen
There's a
Wilson
new
preview.
trailer.
Yeah, there's
Some other bad things I had, and feel free to chime in.
Matt doing it was funny. Your Owen Wilson made me laugh. I gotta say, sometimes we get carried away in this podcast where like I'm goofy, you're goofy, but I'm more goofy than anybody else. But I get so caught up, and when I watch him again, I laugh really hard at Matt's dryness in this. So hats off to you, Matt.
Jeez, thanks.
Thank you.
So a couple other just really quick ones. I thought the jet scene was really hard to follow. Like it was cut.
It was
kinda
so.
bad,
It
and
was
that sort of
dark.
the
So it
new-
wasn't
It was
just
real
me.
dark.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
It was hard to follow.
It wasn't even like a good final scene in my mind. It was
No.
hard to follow, and it was like, and this will get to my ugly too, but like, it just felt like something was happening. This was logical conclusion, and it was the only way to like do something that wasn't, to Aaron's point, like
Saving
we're
the
taking
world.
over the city, and you know,
But epic enough that is kind of
but
like.
felt it's just like
I
it was
mean,
also kind of drastically different. Like
Remember
here's
the
a
ending of the first Spider-Man?
Oh yeah.
Nothing really
yes.
that big was at stake.
Exactly. It was
But it
just it was
felt
mano
very
y mano
weighty.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choose Spider-Man.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
And again, just like in that,
There was almost nothing on the line there.
the villain's hubris was their own downfall, basically. He was like,
and again and
he was like, I could have. Vulture had a perfect chance to just straight up murder Spider-Man, but then he's like, the way they shot it and framed it, it wasn't so much like, I'm not going to murder you because I care about you and I'm a human being. It was more like, I'm not going to murder you because, oh, look, all my shiny stuff and I'm going to go fly over and take
Yeah.
that now instead. And like that ultimately was like, yeah, oh, you're going to explode for whatever.
You know,
reason.
you have a really good point, because you know, like the downfall, the spiraling out of control with the villains. You know, my problem with the first that was my problem a little bit with the motivation of Dr. Octopus in the second one, but at the same time he's being controlled by those things. There's a little bit of madness going on.
They give
Yeah.
it that much.
Yeah, and it was still good. It was still good developing the villain, but like this Willem Dafoe, man, that's all I gotta
Dafoe's
say.
really good.
Willem Dafoe.
I also didn't like how quickly how did he find him?
Who?
Remember when he was like
His
I'm
phone.
the chairman. Oh, it was right.
His
He tracked
phone.
the phone.
Yeah,
All
tracked
right.
the phone.
Retracted. I retract that one.
Get some CSI stuff.
One that
You
I
were
don't,
too busy
I-
taking those notes. You weren't watching the
Ah,
screen.
that's
yo.
right. That was actually really smart on his part to do that. He
Yeah.
he knew.
Yeah.
The one I will not take back is how like he just randomly he's in this like when he was locked in to the vault and he's testing out his new suit or whatever. It's like on the 247th attempt of all these random combinations into the keypad, I get out of here. Like that happened to work, which then happened to like time up perfectly for him going to the Washington Monument for the exact time, which then times perfectly for when he actually gets to fly in, and it all is like perfectly synced up for when the elevator snaps, and then he's just in time flying in, and then spider webbing it, and like it all was like perfect timing.
Yeah, what was wrong with that?
It's a movie, Matt. It's a movie, Matt. It's a movie, Matt.
We're just
And
busting
Donald
your
Duck doesn't
balls.
wear pants.
That's a fallacy.
What's with that?
He wears a shirt but no pants.
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
Wait, Donald Duck? That's a fallacy?
You quack.
But here's the deal. Why does Donald Duck doesn't wear any pants?
We're at
but,
like 15
but he takes a
minutes
shower, and when he comes out of the shower,
wearing a towel.
he puts a waist around his like he
That's
puts a
one
towel
for
around.
the ages.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's mind blowing.
All right, let's move to the uglies.
I got one.
Go ahead, Aaron.
My very first ugly. How is it that we have been seeing previews for the Kingsman for this long? They still haven't cut that trailer down.
second
It's
one.
the same long-ass trailer.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch
No.
it anymore, guys.
Just give us another
We've
one.
seen it like 15
Or
times
pull
now.
in a different.
There
Frank
was no
Sinatra
monkey
song.
butt one either. There wasn't. So you're okay with that?
Yeah, that one didn't bother me as much. Kingsman, I don't want to see your movie. Okay?
That's your bad or ugly?
That's your real. That is a legitimate.
What's an ugly for me? I think I had a few that like kind of bothered me a little bit. Let me think. You can
All right.
tell yours.
I've got
Maybe
a
refresh
couple.
mine.
Um,
I didn't
well,
write things down. I just
so
watched
some
it.
of the really uglies were so I've got two. The first is I think one of my biggest problems with the Marvel movies in addition to how we've talked a lot about their other problems with how they got to raise the stakes. They're constantly raising the stakes while not really humanizing the characters and bringing all of these
What is
like
this, Dragon
it's
Ball Z?
overstuffed and like everything is just chaotic and crazy.
And it's all threaded to the big universe.
Yeah, and it's all connected and everything's got to be webbed together. But I think what like they did a new take on Spider-Man, which is really good, but I feel like they're overly relying on tech now and
Yeah.
like giving everybody like that was their solution to make villains
Yeah.
compatible with our heroes and like
Yeah.
making it even.
But is that not the message they had when they took his suit away?
Right. So they did a good job of narratively giving it the Tony Stark message, like you're nothing without the suit. Like the person on the inside is what really matters. And there's a lot of it's a great pairing between those two characters because you can see a lot of Tony Stark and him, and like they're both kind of scientists. But like I feel like the Spider-Man suit, and it's like there are 500 different web options, and here's this
Yeah,
thing,
it's
and
too much.
he's Spider-Man. Like
He's strong.
he uses his senses to hear things
never did
and
get a Spidey
anticipate
sense, did
things.
we?
And
No.
like in this, it's like,
That's what I loved about the original.
I'm your AI, and I can listen into their conversation at 1,000 feet.
He's basically
and,
like Iron Man 2.0.
Yeah,
And it's like I wanted to be a little different, but I'd like how I appreciate the fact they wanted to do something different than the regular
Yeah.
Spider-Man at the same time, but like
it's almost becoming too toyified,
Dependent on
like
the
and
suit.
it's
Yeah.
like the suit
Sell
is
those
all
web shooters.
and the little
Yeah.
bug. That's kind of dumb.
yeah, and the bug
person like,
drone, and it's like we're
"Whoa."
just trying to make these little tech advancements, and it even like
You know what,
went
the
to
little
like
bug, the little bug thing kind of reminded me of the Batteries Not Included movie. Do you remember that?
I haven't
No.
seen that.
Watch it, kids.
We'll assume
That's
it's
the
a
end of
perfect
that.
reference. But like it
Batman.
even played into like the
We'll assume it's the perfect.
his big like automated jet. The
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
so-
reason
That's so stupid.
the final battle got to even happen was because
'Cause no one's
there
on the
was
plane.
no one on the plane and nobody was following it.
I think that's
because
stupid.
it was an automatic
I
jet.
think that's stupid. I think it's a big flaw. They set it up though at the beginning when he's on the plane, like the private plane, like that he has automatic
Yeah,
jet. But I think it's if you're carrying like precious valuables, you'd have a lot of people on the jet.
Yeah.
Actually, why not have you on there, Tony Stark, with Iron Man?
Yeah.
Or
Like,
put War
Maybe
Machine
in
there.
India or wherever
Do somebody
he was.
else.
yeah.
Put like a fake Iron Man suit.
It seems like they're getting away from people. Like we didn't even talk about like, oh, he got bit by a spider and he has these. We didn't need to address them, but some of his other like actual superpowers that like this really gets into a larger argument about sort of like the X-Men superpowers and like you're a mutant with inborn powers or like something happened where it's you as a person have the powers versus like an external Batman buying.
There's a Spider-Man cartoon episode about that.
Yeah,
it's
like,
really good.
It's an interesting
It's
discussion.
really good.
And like where Marvel was with a lot of these characters where they didn't need a bunch of armor and stuff. Like they were literally superhuman people.
They had their,
and now it's more like tech influence.
Everybody's equipped. Even
you know,
Captain America's equipped.
Yeah, they even referenced like, oh, Thor's belt and Captain America's new shield, and there was a third one.
Yeah.
But like, it's all about upgrades and
you know what? To me, that takes me out of the groundedness and the reality. Like part of the charm about Spider-Man, even though he's a superhero and he's got crazy stuff, there's a sense of realism about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark's tech is not real world, and it kind of like I wish there was a little bit of rawness to it.
It's got a MacGuffin quality to it.
Yeah. There's something about it. I'm with you.
It works with. I guess it works with Tony Stark, but the fact that it is like filtering out into every single person seems odd to me.
Yeah, you know, I got one little ugly that I can think of right now, and you can go back to your ugly. He's got a Bible over there.
I only got
folks.
one more.
Well, say your one. Say your one more.
So my other one was again a Tony Stark related one, where he gets justifiably all mad, like you're not ready, you weren't listening to me. I'm taking the suit away because you put all these people's lives at danger. You went in without me knowing and hacked your suit and wanted to be more. And,
I'm with you. I think this is one of
and
my
then,
uglies.
like, at the end of the movie, he's like, you did great, kid. You went off on your own. You did
exactly the same
You
thing.
did every single thing I told
That's
you
one of
not
my
to
uglies.
do. But now I'm praising you for doing
But he did it without the suit.
But he did it without the suit. But the only reason
you put him more in danger.
He put more things in danger.
He put Spider-Man in danger.
Luckily, no one was on the plane, and luckily the plane didn't crash into 1,000 people. But also, like Tony's like, oh, you got all my stuff back.
It's more selfish. It's more
all my shit back.
I thought the same thing, Matt. I felt like he didn't do anything. He didn't learn his lesson.
Yeah, you can join the Avengers now.
Yeah, it's like all my stuff is back. Good, but if it's other people, like no, that was poorly written.
You don't have to die to learn a lesson.
No, but I'm saying like he didn't do the same thing.
It's just like Tony Stark's explanation and like.
And you know what? They shouldn't. I think it was funny, but at the same time, communicate to him. There was no communication to Tony Stark and him. Like they could have been kind of cool father figure, but it's kind of bullshit. It's kind of like, dude.
He was using him almost more as an asset.
Yeah, and it's kind of bullshit. He kind of used him a little bit, to fight Captain America.
Yeah.
I think I didn't like that. I didn't like he didn't learn his lesson. That's one of my uglies too. Another one of my uglies.
No, he did. I think he did learn his lesson, but not because of Tony.
No,
or I guess it was because he took the suit away. It was just Tony Stark reasons for why his tough love was not properly consistent.
No,
like it wasn't.
But he did the same thing he did on the ferry, except saved Tony Stark's shit, and no one died.
Yeah,
or no one got in danger. That's the only difference.
Yep.
But it could have been.
Yeah,
if it didn't
could have been even
away.
worse.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If the plane had crashed into a building.
Yeah.
Or the city.
They're destroying buildings all the time. What do they care?
Put a pilot on the plane.
Actually, a building did get destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't a building.
It was like a little ride.
A tower.
Yeah,
it's kind of a ride.
Like a decorative tower or something.
But one of
yours, yeah.
Well, that was one.
Okay.
That was like the major one for me. But another one of my uglies, and this could be a bad too, is like, okay, I get that they wrap up that the Vulture doesn't reveal the identity of Spider-Man, but there's someone else who knows the identity of Spider-Man. That's a villain. Shocker too. He knows it.
He does?
Yeah, because he's waiting.
He had his costume on.
No, he was waiting at the school. He had to know because, like,
you're right.
You know,
no.
Shocker 2 knows.
Yeah, he has to know.
Wait. They were tracking it with like a
No. He said like
remember because he Michael Keaton dropped him off. Like he knew Michael.
Well, how did he know?
How did he know he was
now
there?
That you think about it, how did he know? There's another more ugly.
You're right.
You're
How
right.
did he know to be there?
Huh.
Like it's not like Michael Keaton was driving in his car and was maybe like
Phone him.
side texted him like, "Hey, this guy's Spider-Man. I got Spider-Man in my car.
Spider-Man's dating my daughter.
He's a little kid."
Spider-Man's dating my daughter. Beetlejuice.
Nice fucking model.
It's only a model. Am I right? That's my Beetlejuice. It's like, come on. You know,
Aaron, did you have any others?
I really didn't have many uglies about this movie, just a few bads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of mine were.
Yeah, I got the wrong hurry up sound this time.
Oh, hurry up.
I like that though.
Not bad. That's still there from Scott Pilgrim.
I think we should keep it.
I like the bagpipes.
I do too.
Um,
I'm gonna play the bagpipes.
any other stray thought?
Here's
Like I
bagpipes.
found one thing I forgot to mention. There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
We had to get that.
so good.
Had to get it out there.
Okay.
Do you know the bagpipes were like a? I think they were like a Islamic, device that the Scottish. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I think that's where their origins are.
Fun fact.
Yeah,
You're learning something on this podcast.
I did.
No, we did learn something.
So it might have felt weird to you guys, but did you know who? We didn't even talk about the Captain America PSAs.
Oh,
Or
those
the,
are funny.
not
Yeah,
PS,
they kinda
but,
speak
like,
for themselves.
Those were so funny. Those were so good.
And especially at the end of the credits,
They used it really
It's
well.
that sprinkled inside joke that they repeated.
You mean that I've been waiting after credits
Yeah,
for
it's
over
you're
10
going
years
to
now?
You know what? It's the perfect.
Against my will?
It was the perfect end credit for Aaron, who hates end credits, because he got the point. He's like he made fun of end credit scenes.
The only other sort of tie into future potential Marvel stuff was like an Easter egg to like an unrevealed Marvel thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. I had to pee the whole time.
There was so Donald Glover, the
Oh yeah. He's supposed to
He's
be
the
like the dad or the uncle of
Miles
the
Morales.
Yeah.
who's-
He says my nephew lives around here. Yeah.
yeah,
and
who is in
Spider-Man.
the comics is Spider-Man later.
Yeah.
But I guess Donald Glover, when they were rebooting the franchise again,
wanted to be.
they were thinking about just making it him
Yeah.
as Spider-Man, and then So I thought that was a good drop, even though his scenes were kind of wedged in a little bit. Although
Yeah.
he did kind of serve some purpose to
Is he
tell him where
related to
he's
Danny
going.
Glover?
I think so. I don't know for sure though.
Huh.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
He's getting too old for this shit.
Take it. For those who understands our references, only me and Aaron get it. Matt doesn't. Predator 2.
Predator. No, I
Predator
haven't seen
2.
Predator 2.
You need to see it.
Danny Glover.
Well, seeing movies, would you guys say people should see Spider-Man? Or how
Don't look at me.
strongly? It seems like we're all on board that this was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
But
But how good?
how good?
Where do you rate? Okay, here. So I think I recommend everybody seeing it, and I think I can take the consensus. Yeah, this is a good movie. This is a good summer movie.
Extremely. Yep.
One of the better Marvel movies. Where do you rate it? Amongst the other Spider-Man.
Ooh.
I never thought about it. I never thought the Doc Ock one was as good as sort of its reputation. And I was
I agree
younger
with you.
watching them.
But
so
I watched it a
don't-
million times, and I
Yeah,
love
I'd
that
have
one.
to watch it again to tell again. But I would say this one,
Really
it'll be
tough.
really hard
This
to
is a
beat
close-
the first one. I might give it to this one because it
This
didn't.
is your number one.
Yeah, just because Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Toby
like,
did a good job. though.
Everything
good.
around them is good. Is like you could get really
Yeah.
close, but if I'm picking just the Spider-Man, I feel like this Spider-Man is way better than Tobey Maguire.
I think as Spider-Man itself, like jumping around shooting things, there's more whimsical Spider-Man. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think the first one's the best. I think this one's a close tie with the second one
Okay.
to me. And this is my reasoning. I love the whimsical nature and the lightheartedness of this movie, but I just love the tragedy that he went through in the originals and how it affected him more personally.
yeah, we didn't
and, like,
even talk. They didn't even reference Uncle Ben or anything.
No,
in
and,
this.
and that's fine. I think that's fine. They want to do something different. And Aunt May doesn't know. And all the things he had to overcome alone. and that the fact they had J. Jonah Jameson, that character's great, and I'm glad they didn't have him.
I can't wait for when they get to.
Yeah, well, he got to be in college for that.
Yeah.
You think they'll get the same actor to do that when they eventually get him in there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why would you do
Why
anybody
would
different?
you do anything else?
Why?
He
Why?
was made for
It's
that
got to be
role.
J.K. Simmons.
Do you know he's going to
It's
be
only J.K.
Commissioner
Simmons.
Gordon?
What?
Yeah, he's going to be commissioner.
He's like ripped.
yeah, he's got yeah.
He's gonna be like
Yeah.
a ripped commissioner.
Come on, Batman, let's go.
I
trust my barber.
Yeah, I think part of the tragedy, like we haven't, they have a lot to,
But they want to do
still
something
get.
different.
Like this was pre the Tobey Maguire part, you know. Obviously, the Uncle Ben storyline had happened in both versions. Like this, it happened when he was much younger in this incarnation.
Yeah.
But we haven't even gotten to like Green Goblin stuff. We haven't gotten to
No more Green
really
Goblin.
Green Goblin stuff. That's
We
really
don't
it.
need any more Green Goblin.
But yeah, this was more. He wasn't really informed by tragedy and a sense of responsibility.
This is more about,
he's
like, a
more responsibility,
teenager.
but like he wasn't.
it's a coming of age movie.
His superhero
Right.
motivations weren't because of a tragedy. It's because he wants to be an Avenger and be like a real hero
Yeah,
and feels a sense of
Interesting
duty.
take.
Yeah.
I like it
It's a
and I
little
don't like it.
different.
I like the originals better. Now I have to say this: the fight between Doc Ock and the second one is one of the best fighting sequences ever on the train.
They didn't have as good of fight sequences in
No,
this.
no, not at all.
They were a little understated. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Where would you rank it, Aaron?
This is tough.
Well, number 3 is number 1 for you.
No, it's. it's
just
funny.
kidding.
Okay, it's funny. I would have to say. I hate to agree with Ben, but I'd have to say number 1 is probably the strongest, with this one and 2 followed closely behind.
Yeah, I don't think one's better than the other. There's
Yeah,
just some
it's just different.
things I like in
Different
both of them
strokes.
different.
That
Things
one-
I didn't
The
like.
first one, it has such weight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without the world being in
and
danger.
Him not
I do have to
knowing
say
how to
this
do
is
it.
one of
It's
the
Spider-Man centric.
We're at an hour and 1 here, but I do have to say, musically, this is one of the better Marvel movies musically that I remember the damn theme.
Yeah.
And then the theme kind of has a take on the original Spider-Man. It's more chord based on those chords, but nothing beats the Danny Elfman score.
Those
in
are
the
pretty
first
good.
one. Oh
Those
yeah,
are great.
those are great.
Yeah. Well, and even then, it's like
They have that.
the original Spider-Man,
flowing
the original Spider-Man trilogy. It was a Spider-Man trilogy. The thing we have to think about with this is like
It's the Avengers
within the
universe.
plot, it's like it's impossible to just make Spider-Man without addressing the Avengers stuff.
You're
and
right.
Everything else, so it's almost like a different set of circumstances.
But
So.
without Spider-Man, the first ones, there would be no Avengers.
You're gonna drop the mic, like just lower it.
Oh,
Woo. All right. So we're all in agreement. Definitely go see it. We
Yeah.
loved it.
dude, this scene's not in the movie. Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the like literal.
There's some
save the
scenes not in
cat
the movie
scene.
that yeah.
He never. We didn't even talk about his love story,
That's
which
because
it
it
wasn't
was
really
so
love.
yeah.
not worth
he was kind of
mentioning.
a dick the whole time to her. It was just
But
like,
he had a greater good to fight.
yeah. She's like a senior, like.
I could pork you right now, but I gotta fight your dad.
She,
All right.
she was into him, but not.
Yeah.
Like
He must not have wanted it bad enough.
No,
Yeah.
Michelle, baby, Michelle.
Yeah, MJ. She's
coming.
Zendaya. All right. So we got the planet of the war for the planet of the war for
Yep.
the apes of the battle for the apes. All the like that's a really long title. War for the planet of the apes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long.
I
That's
mean, the last one was that long. It was
Yeah.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
rise battle.
War for the Planet of the Apes, Part 1. War
Bat-
World War for the planet. Of,
What?
World War II for the planet of the.
Yeah. Created the government for the Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
The Declaration of Independence of the Planet of the Apes.
The Boston Tea Party
It's
of the Planet of the Apes. The Civil War of the Planet of the Apes.
Starring Iron Man.
The assassination of Lincoln and Planet of the
They just start. They just like
The
go.
assassination of Lincoln by the coward Gerald Ford of the Planet of the Apes.
All right, we're not topping that.
Ford. I got that
We're not
wrong.
topping
It was yeah. Well, who was it?
I don't know.
Who's assassinating Lincoln? George Washington did it.
George Washington
That's
did
it.
it.
John Wilkes Booth.
There you go. Thank you.
Wow. We need to go back to
Are we
school.
done yet?
All right. So look forward to that on Friday. Then our Game of Thrones season premiere. We're going to do a live stream on Sunday.
Oh, that's happening.
So please watch that. We're going to we're doing a lot for that episode. So
Yes.
it's going to be really fun. But Planet of the Apes first, and you guys got Super Mario
Land 2.
yeah,
Land
we're
2
working on
still trickling out.
it. I got sick, but
There's
now I'm better.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of those. So lots of content. So check us out.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, play us off, Spider-Man.